Every few years, a hack for peeling garlic takes the world by a storm that blows out just as fast as it blew in. I think there's a reason for that. Peeling garlic is just fundamentally laborious and there's no way around it. That said, you gotta peel it some way if you want to eat it, so here are my top 5 garlic peeling methods ranked. In the bottom position at number 5, the viral sensation du jour, the pierce and twist. You've seen this, right? You just take a paring knife and you stick it into the clove and you twist and it just comes right out, right? No. This can work though. Glenn over at Glenn and Friends here on YouTube cracked the code. He figured out that you have to cut out the root end. You break the connection between the cloves and the root, which is really hard. Glenn's actually got pretty good knife skills. I have the knife skills of a mere mortal, and yeah, I can do this, but like, it's really hard and I think I'm probably gonna cut myself. Once you've done it though, I think you really do need a wider paring knife than the kind that is common in most Western kitchens. See, this thin, pointy end just kind of spins around inside the clove. You need a wider one. Even if you put in the time it takes to get good at this, it only works for the outer cloves of the head. The inner cloves are still stuck to the root. I'm sorry, not a fan, not into it. But if you really want to give it a shot, check out Glenn's video. It's linked in the description. In the number 4 slot, the viral sensation of 2011, microwave your garlic. No, not like that, not a whole head. It only works if you break all the cloves apart first. Luckily, there is a pretty good trick for doing that. Just put the head on your board and bash it with your palm. Not like that. It works better if you have the root end facing up. There, they all just fall apart, although a few do tend to go flying across the room. There's no free lunch, people! Then you put the cloves into a microwave-safe bowl and nuke them for about 20 seconds. You'll hear them spit and squeal as the steam builds up inside them. The pressure of the steam is what releases the paper from the cloves. Some of them pop out pretty easily, some of them don't. One thing that does help is to cut off the root end of the clove before peeling it. You're gonna wanna cut that off anyway because it's yucky. Now yes, these cloves have been cooked a little bit and they won't taste as pungent as raw garlic, but I gotta figure that if you're peeling a huge quantity of garlic, chances are very small you're planning to use it raw. So I think it's fine if it gets a head start on the cooking in the microwave. You're gonna cook it anyway. Ultimately though, I just don't think this method saves that much time and effort. Coming in at number 3, another viral sensation from a few years ago, shake the garlic between 2 bowls. You bash the head apart, put the cloves into a metal bowl, and they say to nest in another slightly smaller bowl on top. The garlic is in a little empty space between the 2 bowls. Then you shake it really hard for at least 10 seconds. And that never works at all for me. I think that the garlic needs more room to move. Only thing that works for me is to layer on the bowls face to face. So now the cloves are encased in a giant metal egg. Grip them firmly and then shake. You have to shake really, really, really hard. That is the only way that this works. And frankly, I think some people might not be physically able to exert the necessary force. Here they are. Again, some will pop out pretty easily, some won't. Again, it helps if you cut off the root end, and you could actually do that to the entire batch of cloves before you shake them. That actually is the very best way. I've used this method a few times when I needed to peel an insane amount of garlic, like 4 or 5 heads. But unless you're working at that kind of scale, I just don't think this method saves you much time or effort, especially considering that you now have 2 large bowls that are dirty and stinky and need to go in the dishwasher, where they're gonna take up a lot of space. Number 2, rolling the garlic. You take a clove between your hands and you roll it back and forth, really squeezing as you roll. You can do that down against the board too. That works, and that is the method I use if what I want is a whole intact clove of peeled garlic, for slicing perhaps. Don't expect a Goodfellas joke here, I don't own a razor blade. This does make your hands stinky, and if you're pressing hard enough, it actually kind of hurts a little bit. There are silicone tubes you can buy to address both of those concerns. But for most home cooking purposes, I think nothing beats number 1, the old reliable bash with the side of a knife. See, the paper comes right off. Again, I think this works better if you cut off the root end before you do it. It's still pretty time consuming if you're doing a bunch of cloves, but nothing really beats this. And now you've already got a head start on chopping up the clove. Oh, and while we're talking about garlic hacks, there is a method of mincing garlic where you throw on some coarse salt and then grind it into the garlic with the side of your knife, using the salt grains as an abrasive. I'm not a big fan of this, because I don't think that it's really breaking the pieces into smaller pieces. I think it's giving that illusion by osmotically drawing the moisture out of the cells. You can see there how wet it is. Now, here is a bonus method for peeling garlic. Don't! You can put an unpeeled garlic clove straight into a garlic press and virtually all of the paper will be left behind. The downside is some of the garlic will be left behind too, but when I just need a little bit of garlic really quickly, that is what I do. All of this raises the question, is it worth it? Well, a week hence, we shall determine via blind taste test whether freshly peeled and chopped garlic really does taste better in the finished food than pre-chopped and peeled garlic from a jar. Grandma Ragusia, forgive me.